Hey folks, welcome back to part 22 of our Final Fantasy VI Pro Challenge playthrough. I can't tell you how excited I am to finally get this part of the video uploaded. Thank the Lord. Alright, so here we go. Take a look. A few things here. 1.5 million GP. That's kind of staggering, but when you power level for as long as I have, it's kind of to be expected. So I think the average party member's level is like 42, 43. A little lower than I'd like it to be, but honestly, I'm just sick and tired of power leveling right now. I'm going to take my chances with what I got. I think with my skill level and knowledge of the game, I think I can get by with what I got. Alright, one thing you want to notice, I unequipped every single member in my entire party. Not just the 4 people I'm running with, but every single person. And the reason you want to do that is to make sure that you have every single piece of equipment available, as well as all the espers, relics, etc. Make sure they're all ready and available for what you're about to do right here. Alright, we're going back into Kefka's tower, and it's really up to you as to how you want to set your parties. It really doesn't bother me how you want to do it, but make sure you have at least 2 strong magic users in every party that you set up here. So you're going to have 14 available characters. Obviously, if you know anything about math, you can't take all 14 party members in 3 groups of 4. So this is a little bit more complicated and tricky than it was in Phoenix Cave. You got to take 3 groups. You could technically take 1 person in each group, but that's not very smart considering what you're about to go up against here. This is just how I choose to do it. You can do it however you like. I strongly suggest leaving Umero behind because he is a berserker and you can't control his actions. And unless you take the time to level up Gaw and learn all his rage skills, he's really kind of worthless and pointless. So those are my 2 choices to leave behind. I like how I've set people up. And with that being said, we're going to jump into Kefka's tower, and we're going to go for the gusto here. We're going to go for the kill, go for it all. Drop down in. There's party number 1. There's party number 2. And here comes party number 3. Alright, now if you think back to the last part, we went through previously with Mog as a single party member here. And he went by himself with the Moogle Charm, and he cleared out everything that he possibly could, all of the treasure chests. So we don't have to worry too much about exploration here. We're just going to go for everything that we need to do. We're going to go straight for the bosses, straight for the end, straight for Kefka. That is a nice pairing, the Illumina and the Scimitar. Just set everything up for the way that you think you can possibly handle it. Put the best equipment on everybody. I wouldn't try to stick all of the Genji equipment on one person. Kind of evenly spread it out. Obviously, make sure you have ultimate weapons where possible with all of the characters here. Remember that Go-Go has no magic Esper bonuses here. Just the higher his level is, the more damage he's going to do. I tend to use him more as a mimic to Sabin and just to use his Bum Rush skill. I think that's the most effective way I ever use him. So set up your relics the way that you want to. I like to put the running shoes on Sabin almost all the time to make his Bum Rush come out faster and faster. That's my personal choice. Everything else is really up to you. So set it up the way that you want, and once you feel that you're ready to go, go on. I think we're good to go here. And make sure you have, I mean, it's not really necessary at this point. By the time you come into Kefka's tower, you should know just about all of the magic you really want to know, and they should be equipped on all of the correct characters. So it's not a matter of equipping espers for the sake of learning magic at this point in the game. It's equipping the right espers to get the right Esper bonuses here. So if you have a magic heavy or magic powerful character like Terra, for instance, or Realm, Strago, etc., I would probably equip espers that give magic +1 or magic +2 bonuses whenever they get to another level, and they will level as you go through this fortress here. If you have a strong physical character like Sabin or Edgar, for instance, and you want to equip characters that give strength, you want to equip espers that give strength bonuses, you get the point here, right? Alright, with that being said, we have a team that does not have Mog here, so we cannot use the Moogle Charm as we've grown accustomed to. You could equip the Charm Bangle, which will decrease the number of random encounters a little bit, but you're still going to obviously have some encounters you run into here. This fight has always been an anomaly here. I've never understood this. You have a Vector here, right? And it seems like you take it down, you kill it, but it doesn't disappear, right? Wrong. What you're looking at is actually 5 of the same enemy overlapping each other. Why it happens this way, I have no clue. I don't know if that was a programming glitch or if that was intentional. Either way you look at it, I think it's annoying. So you can't even tell how much damage the characters are doing here because they're all stacking over on top of each other. Anyway, we're going to go through as much of this as we can with as few encounters as we can because we want to get to the end as quick as we can. I think we're decently leveled enough to where it really shouldn't matter. We're just going to run all the way to the end as fast as we can, and we're actually pretty close for the first party here. We don't need to worry about any boss fights, really, for this first party, and even the second party, until we get all 3 parties to the very end section here. Now, this is an interesting fight right here. Dark Force, you could choose to fight them or not. It's really up to you. I choose not to fight these guys because there are several enemies in this section of Kefka's tower that can really cause you some hefty problems here, like this one, the Dark Force. Has the roulette enemy skill, and you're going to see what happens here. Well, actually, you won't. So the roulette skill will basically cast doom and insta-kill whoever it lands on, and that's not a good thing, right? So try to take these guys down fast if you can, or just run away from them. Oh, by the way, roulette enemy skill, right? We just learned it. I don't recommend using that skill in a no-death run, because if roulette targets you, yeah, you just targeted yourself and you lost the character. So thank you for nothing. Pointless enemy skill. All right, and that's really all we need to worry about for party number 1 here. Just get Terra right to that very section right there, and we're going to move on to the second party. Before you do that, make sure that you unequip all of your inventory. Now, you might say, this is kind of cheesy, cheap. I want to equip everybody. I want to have all 12 party members have optimal equipment so I don't have to worry about this. Well, okay, that's your call, but have fun wasting all that gil and that time, that GP. It's really up to you. You know, it's not in the rules. It doesn't say that you can't do this, and there's many people who do the same thing, so whatever. I prefer to do it this way. Yes, it takes a lot longer to go through and recirculate all of the inventory and relics and espers, but it's a lot better strategy in the long run. So obviously nobody wants to watch people go through menus like this consistently, although the sad truth is you're going to see a lot of it in Kefka's tower here. So thankfully I was able to kill some time and talk through that first menu inventory exchange. Now right here we have the second battle here, or the second party going up in this first battle, I should say. These are some pretty tough enemies. The Vector, obviously not, but that Mad Oscar, that Marlboro, that is an enemy that you want to take down as quick as you can, because if you hit it last, or if you leave it for last, it will cast an attack called Sour Breath, I believe, or Sour Mouth, which is basically a whole bunch of status-inducing ailments, which can only be countered mostly by the ribbons. So if you have ribbons equipped, great. I prefer not to equip them unless I absolutely have to, because I want to maximize the damage that I'm dealing. So run away if you can. If you can't, take out the Marlboro enemies first, and then focus on the other enemies here. This giant or great behemoth is very annoying, and it can cause massive physical damage. That haymaker uppercut punch, ooh, actually took Cyan out there. Now, to be fair, we didn't really spend a lot of time leveling up Cyan, so that's not that big of a surprise that he got one shot there. So we'll just bring him back. We can do a couple things here. We could use a Phoenix down, as you're going to see right about down here. Or, if you have Life 2 learned, you can bring him back to full power. I chose not to do that, but that's really up to you. So once they're back to full health, and the entire party's back to full health, feel free to continue on. You really shouldn't worry too much about using a whole ton of magic, because there will be plenty of opportunities to replenish your party's health and save, and you'll see what I mean as we go through here. I'm just going to continue on. We've already gotten that part. We don't have to worry about that. We're just going to keep on moving on down south. This looks very similar to the prison cell area in Edgar's basement, right? By the way, this is a very annoying pair of enemies to fight here, because one of these two characters, I forget which one it is, one of these enemies, I think it's the one with the single samurai sword. Whenever you kill it, it will use an attack called trade-off, which basically says, okay, you killed me, now I kill you. It's an instant kill, so unless you've got Life 3 or Arise equipped on them, it's an instant death. So just run away, avoid it when you can. Now, if you think back to the Floating Continent, if you remember actually playing it, you're going to remember this thing. Back then it was known as Atma Weapon, right? Well, here it's just called Atma. Now, it's very unclear as to whether this is the actual Atma Weapon or if its brother, its cousin, reborn. Have an answer, right? Yeah, the answer is you don't have an answer. Now, if you play it straight up, this thing could be a challenge. Thankfully, it is vulnerable to the Vanish X-Zone cheese. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take one of the most difficult bosses, at least in the first half of the game, and we're going to make him a complete and absolute joke. Check it out. Normally, this thing would be completely redunculous. But here's part 1. And if you know part 1, you know what part 2 is. Sayonara. Wish I could say it was tough. 8 magic points, and that's really all you get. Now, the magic points are great and all, but here's the big thing to love about it. Save points. Definitely use save points every chance that you get, because chances are, if you're a heavy magic user, you're going to be hurting for health and hurting for magic. So if you did what I did in the last part, you should have 99 tenths or very close to it. So go ahead and burn your magic or burn your tenths, get yourself back up to full health and MP, and then move on. Continue on with the next part of the map here. Now, technically, do you have to kill the Atma? No, you can just move right on past it, but why not? It's a free save point. Not to mention he's not tough with the little cheese trick here. Now, there's the first instance of the stunner actually working, the Shadow ultimate weapon. It does nice little damage, and then there's a random chance of inflicting stop on an enemy here, which actually did at that point. So stop, as you know, is very annoying to deal with, and it's even more annoying for an enemy to deal with, because it's basically making them a statue, a free target, a punching bag. Down it goes. We're going to continue to move on here with the next section here. And we get to a section with 2 pipes. I honestly couldn't remember which pipe was the right one to take, so the left one is the right one to take. I went back, checked the right pipe. We're going to ignore it. Yeah, pretend I didn't do this, because if you go in the right pipe, you're basically dropping back here. The only real reason to go back to the right is if you forgot something, maybe you wanted to go back and fight the Atma again, or you want to go back to the save point. Other than that, don't go right, go left. Those Brontosaurus enemies, by the way, are very annoying, very hard hitters, so fight them if you want to, although it's not really necessary. Run from the battles when you have to, unless you feel very confident in your skills and abilities, and honestly you should. If you've done decent power leveling here, as you've seen, I've got, what, level 42 average party members here, which is sufficient. I mean, they could be better, yes, but it's sufficient to get through this part of the game here. So, by the way, these things are really stupid. They were cheap and dumb when you first fought them way back in the Magitech factory. They're no different here with a palette swap. So, hit them hard, hit them fast, take them down. They're a joke. And that'll take care of them. Nice places to level up, by the way. If you're still looking for a nice place to power level, you could do it right in here. By the way, don't ever forget, you have the warp spell available. So if you want to do some power leveling here in Kefka's Tower, feel free to have at it. You can always warp yourself out of there if you find yourself in a hard spot. Like I said, I feel pretty good. Brontars, like I said, fight them if you want to. I'm electing not to, because I don't want to take my chances. They've got some pretty strong attacks. And certainly you don't want to encounter them in the dinosaur forest, because a lot of these things can cast Meteor or Ultima. Don't ask me how a dinosaur knows the most powerful magic spell in the game. It's a video game, don't ask me, right? Alright, now if you think back to the last part, that's where the gold dragon was fought way back when. Since we took him out with Mog single-handedly, we don't have to worry about it this time. Thankfully, he's vulnerable to Vanish X-Zone cheese, so it wouldn't matter in the first place. Now, this is a very, very annoying punishing group. When you encounter them, run away from them. Can we take them down? Yes, of course. But you're going to see that all 3 of these are very nasty compadres here. The 2 ninjas, they will throw actual dirks, knives, and swords and weapons at you that cause massive damage. The magic user, Dame Madam Behind, will not only cast powerful magic, but also powerful support magic. She will cure, revive. It's just not worth the effort and the hassle. Yeah, you can earn some nice experience points, but trust me, don't bother with them. Just run away if you ever encounter these folks, which you, of course, will. Alright, so that's going to conclude party number 2's path trajectory for the time being. And actually, we skipped a very important section. We needed to open up party 1's path. I don't know how we forgot it, but we did. Not a big deal. We'll come back and fix it just a little bit here. So for the time being, we're going to skip through the inventory changing section and blast through it as quick as we can until we move on to party number 3. So we'll see you on the flip side here. Okay, welcome to the party number 3, and we move on through, and the nice thing with party number 3 is we have Mog in there, which of course means that we can equip the Moogle Charm. Very nice, because you have no random encounters here. We just have to move straight to the end of this section as far as we can possibly go. Now, if you think back to the last part of this video, in this particular section, we moved as far as we could, and then we stopped right when we got to what we knew would be a random boss encounter. Not really random, but you know what I mean. Alright, so we moved through the conveyor belt section here, looking very much like the Magitech factory. And if you think back, you knew right underneath the overpass is the boss. There's a save point, use it if you need to. And ooh, here comes this boss down out of the rafters here. And he's going to jump on top of us. And what exactly is it? Well, the boss's name is Inferno, and he looks very similar to a boss that we saw when we left the Magitech factory the first time. Probably a clone, duplicate, whatever. Who knows? Who cares? Alright, now one thing you noticed, a lot of HP, and he's also very vulnerable to the Bolt and Lightning spells. So, if you have hefty magic users here, this is their time to shine. Go ahead and abuse Bolt 3 as much as you possibly can. I have Mog in the party for a couple reasons. His dance skills are very necessary. Not necessary, but very nice to have. Number one, the Moogle Charm is always in style. And I like to use his Wind Song whenever I can because it has the automatic, heal with no MP for the Wind Song. So use it when you can. The only downside to him is that occasionally he will use Wind Slash, which will heal certain enemies in this dungeon here. That can be a problem. Now, I recommend attacking the Inferno boss directly with lightning as opposed to targeting all of them, because as you probably saw, one of those arms, if not both of them, will actually absorb lightning magic, and if you can avoid that if possible, that's a good thing. So target the enemy directly. You can use the scimitar that you're seeing here with Edgar to take out the arms rather quickly if you're lucky. We did get one of them way back at the start. Go ahead, cure. Don't forget to cure because you don't want to have your magic users go down unnecessarily if it's possible. Use and abuse Bolt 3. You can equip the wall rings if you wish here, although I don't really think it's necessary. If you have Thunder Shield equipped, you can probably avoid a lot of that stuff happening here. Fortunately, the Wind Song didn't heal this boss, although there will be occasions where it does happen later in the dungeon here. Very nice to have the ability to avoid a lot of those hits here. You can see because we have high evade and magic evade stats here. We're using Life 2, and we're just healing back to full health. Gotta say, I love that Life 2 spell. Puts Phoenix down to shame at this point in the game. Wow, 8,100 damage on a single Bolt 3. Thank you, Realm, so much for showing why you're the best magic user in the game. Down it goes. That wasn't too difficult of a boss fight. Yeah, we had one or two characters go down, but they came back pretty quick. Alright, we're going to move on through. Feel free to use that save point that we just passed. A lot of people will encounter that boss by surprise. Thankfully, we knew what was coming. We didn't have to worry about it. Now you see why the save point is relevant. Alright, we're going to move on down through the steps to the next part of this dungeon here. Moving on down. Nothing to see here. Keep on moving on down. Keep on moving. Now, there are a couple chests here. One of them is very important, Mega Elixir. Those are extremely rare. Anytime you can get one of those is great. That red flickering dot star is a switch. Make sure that you hit it to open up the path for one of the party members. Do not forget about it. That rainbow brush we picked up obviously is for Realm, and it's nice to have if you want to control things. I don't really utilize it that much, but it's good to have. Alright, here's the final dragon we have yet to take down, as you are about to see. It is called the Skull Dragon, and like most every other dragon in the game, okay, decent HP, weakness, blah, 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 whatever, right? Like every other dragon, he's vulnerable to Vanish X Zone, so I wish I could say this was a challenging fight. I wish I could give you a real strategy. Yeah, you could take him down by his weakness, but why bother? You can just do part 1, and you can just do part 2. Boom, LOL, bye, see ya. What do we get? 10 magic points. Always very nice to have. Ooh, a muscle belt. That is a very nice relic to have. Why? Because it increases your HP total by 50%. So if you've got 500 or 5,000 HP, now you got 7,500. Very nice. What do we get? Ooh, Crusader. Now, what exactly is that? We took down all 8 dragons. That's what we get. What do we get? Attack harms you and the enemy. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Check this out. Remember I told you that that meteor spell was nice to have? Why would we want to trade it in? This is why. You can still learn it from this Crusader Esper here. Oh, by the way, you can also learn the spell Merton. That Merton spell is very much like the Whirlwind or the Tornado spell that harms you and the enemy. You'll never see me use it because why would I want to in a deathless run? Yeah, but it's there. So this is a nice, that's an understatement. This is an amazing Esper to have if you want to learn the Meteor spell. And that's probably the best spell we're going to get, short of Ultima, unless you have the Paladin's Shield. More on that later. We chose not to get that in the previous portion of the video, just because of the length of time it would take to level up the Cursed Shield to the Paladin's Shield. Anyway, enough said on that. Level up Crusader to learn Meteor if you wish. It's nice to have, but again, it's not really necessary. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back, and we're going to use the second party to go back and open up Party 1's path. What you're seeing here is me realizing, oh shoot, I probably should have done that, right? And just a lot of wasted time. Party 2 is now going to go back, and we're going to show you exactly what we missed. We're going to get to where we should have gone, open up the party switch, the Party 1 switch here. Alright, we're finished with that, and we're finally going to take our second party back to right the wrong that we made of not opening up the path for the first party. We're going to go ahead and let this play out a little bit because there's a couple enemies I want you to take a look at here. One of them that we actually did see back in the Coliseum. This is this Daedalus character here. And he's annoying because he casts level 5, 10 dooms. So anybody with a multiple of 5 level instantly kills. And that can be problematic if you come in here and you're unlucky. He can wipe out the entire party. So yeah, be very careful of that. Thankfully, we got lucky to only have one person with level 5-10 Doom, or level 5-10 status there, so it was easily able to fix. Alright, we're back up to full speed here, and we're going to go ahead, and right over here to the left, and we got one more battle to fight here. Not going to bother fighting these things. Yes, we can take them down. I don't care, that's not why we're doing this, so run away as quick as we can. And we're going to enter this building over to the left, and it will allow us to hit a switch that opens up a pathway for our first party once again. So let's get out of here. Let's run over to this building to the left-hand side, right in here. You can see there's nothing over there. We've already got all of the treasure chests there previously. Let's walk upon in there once we determine, yeah, we can't do that. And we have one more random battle we have to suffer through because curiosity killed the cat, so to speak. Gonna run out of there quickly. Hopefully, quicklier. Get out of there, come on. Running away is always annoying when it's not a preemptive strike, because you have to wait sometimes 2 or 3 times, as I'm sure you probably noticed by this point in the game. Alright, we're going to finally go in here, and here we go. We have a treasure chest down here. There's a switch, opens a pathway down there. Oh, another ribbon. Now, I know for a fact that we have at least 4 ribbons here we can equip on all 4 party members. And we will probably put those to use at some point in the future. I'm not saying when, but we probably will. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and switch over to our first party once again. Get all the crapola off of the old party members. Get them where we need them to be. And it shouldn't take very long. We're very accustomed to doing this by now. Obviously it's very fast with the 4 times speed running right here. I think we're good with the right stuff on the right people. Hopefully. Maybe. Finally. Alright, here we go. Party 1's moving down through. Got all the right espers and all the right people. We're going to move on through this empty corridor here. Not a whole lot to see here. It's the remains of the Magitech factory, so to speak. Go up through the door. Straight up around the corner, around the bend. Doom Dragon. No, this is not one of the actual 8 mythical magical dragons here. It just happens to be called a Doom Dragon. Southern Cross, very annoying ice spell. You're going to see right here. Yeah, it does pretty hefty ice damage. Thankfully, we had an ice shield equipped, and Saban didn't take any damage. We have to go suffer through one more of these Southern Cross attacks. Obviously weak to fire spells if you have people who are strong in it. Ooh, that's a rare occurrence to see Terra go down. Thankfully, we're still around and kicking. Get all of our characters back up to full speed, and thank you for life too. Yeah, what was that? We took no damage at all. Alright, get all the characters back up where they need to be. We're going to go back up through, and here is the last of the statues, I believe. We got one more chest to get. Nothing too critical that we can't live without, but we're going to get it anyway, just for the sake of completion. And hurry up and do your damage so we can get out of here. Come on. Hurry. Go. Run, run, run. Yeah, Life Shaver does absolutely no damage when you've inflicted no damage on the enemy here, so that's kind of a laughable skill there. But enough about that. Get this last chest here. Tax Star, very good throwing weapon for Shadow, as we know by this point. Go through the final door. Go straight up through the pathway that we opened. And what do we got up here? Ooh, there's a switch. And that switch is going to be necessary eventually. So right now we're going to switch back to... Oh, by the way, push that anvil down. You're going to see why. Both of those anvils that we've seen have to be pushed down to allow passage up to the next part of the game here. So go ahead, do what you got to do. Also, I'm not sure, I haven't tested this, but I don't think you can push the anvil down if your other party is standing on the switch. I've never actually tested it. I don't want to find out and cause an accidental game over here. So if somebody actually knows if it's possible to cause a game over by pushing the anvil down on another party member, please let me know, because I have no intentions of trying it in a no-death run. Anyway, moving on here. We are now going to move back to our second party, so we can finally get back there and push the next switch and get to the next part of the game. So we're going to trudge ourselves all the way back here. Honestly, we could skip. We've already seen this a couple times here, but we're going to let it play out just because I like talking about certain stuff here. And this is one of the last times I'm going to talk to you guys about this game. It's only been 22 parts in. Why not get my licks and my kicks in? If you think back, remember, this is one of those battles that you desperately want to flee from. Yes, we can kill them, but ooh, check this out. That lady in the back, she'll cast Flare, she'll cast Pearl, she'll heal, she'll do nasty stuff, and it's nothing you want to suffer through, so just do what you got to do. Get out of there as quick as you can. I have absolutely no love for any of these enemies here, and honestly, some of these enemies might even cast Trade-Off. Even if you get the kill, they'll still take you down for all I know. I haven't fought one of these guys in a long time, so I really couldn't tell you. Don't take the chance. Get your party back up to full speed, as if you didn't know that by this point in the game. We're going to go back up the steps. And check this out. Now that that 4-ton anvil's been dropped, we can go right up here. We're going to push this switch on this side. And now we can go down and push that anvil down. But obviously move your party member out of the way. Don't take any chances. Push that 4-ton anvil down. Boom. And now that pathway is open. Alright, so now Shadow can move back up. Jump on that switch after one more random enemy encounter that we have no intentions of fighting. We could fight it. Will we fight it? Yeah, right. I don't think so. Never on a back attack. I rarely fight on a back attack unless I absolutely have to, and that is not one of the occasions there. So, go up, hit the switch. Go ahead and get your third party member. Now remember, this is the party that we have Mog with, so you don't really have to equip him with anything. The only one you have to really worry about is Mog, of course. So give Mog the Sprint Shoes and the Moogle Charm. Go ahead up here. And we're going to hit that third switch. And that's going to open a pathway for all 3 party members. You now have the ability to go down here, hit that last switch. And that's going to open 2 more doors for both party members on the left and the right. Second party can go up, and whoa, there's that Guardian boss. Now, we could go up and fight it, but obviously that's not a smart move when you've only got Mog equipped, so we're going to avoid that for right now. We're going to divert over to one of our other party members here, and we're going to take out the first pathway here. Let's see what we have to do. Alright, we're back, and now moving on with party number 1, going down and around to the left. And at this point in the game, in this Kefka's Tower dungeon here, we're now going to take on the 3 statues. Yes, you remember them, right? They are guarding Kefka. So, we're going to take every single one of them down one by one. The first one is Doom. Doom, also known as Fiend, has a very meaty total here of HP. He's also weak to Holy, so if you have anyone who knows the Pearl spell, you can go ahead and use that to your heart's content. Or you can do what I've opted to do and just bum rush him to death and use all kinds of nasty physical attacks. Woo, 8,700 damage on one single bum rush, so it won't take many of those to take him down, right? Now, fortunately, I've got Go-Go in my party, who is not too shabby when it comes to physical attacks right now, so you can choose to Mimic or do a bum rush of his own. And, yeah, obviously that's a smart move here. Now, I've opted to use Strago's Grand Train because how often are you going to get a chance to see this late in the game, or really ever here, since I don't really use Strago that much. So there you go, there's the one and only time you're going to see Grand Train in a long time. This is Go-Go using the Bum Rush, and okay, a little bit of a drop-off from Sabin, obviously, but still, 5,500 damage is not too shabby for this point in the game. For a Mimic, I should say. Wow, that's incredible. 9,500 damage on a single Bum Rush. Alright, now, obviously, whenever he starts flashing like this is an indicator that you better take him down quickly or you're going to be suffering the consequences. So, thankfully, all of our characters are very heavily equipped with nice physical and magic attacks, so it shouldn't be much longer until Doom goes down. And sure enough, that will be the case here. So, a few more of these attacks. Now, Doom is going to use an attack called Force Field here. It's not really an attack, but what you're going to see is that it's going to render one specific magic element ineffective. Not that it matters, because we're not really using magic attacks here. We're going straight physical. Yeah, so you can really tell the Force Field attack to go piss off here. It doesn't matter to us at all. The only kind of magic you're going to see me use here is the curative stuff. Now, yeah, I probably could have brought Go-Go back from the dead here, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Let's check this out. Another 9,200 damage. Boom, gone. One statue down. 2 more to go. And let's see, what kind of nice little rewards do we get for taking this statue down? What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? 10 magic points. I would expect that. Oh, we did learn the Force Field, and we got a Sky Render. That's the most awesome, not attack, but the most awesome sword that Cyan can use. Although I still tend not to use it when you got the scimitar in tow here. Alright, now you're going to notice every time you take one of these statues down, you will get a save point. Please use it, and please use the tents to get yourself back up to full life in MP. Obviously, I'm going to do that every chance I get. So we take down the first statue, we crawl through, and there's the first switch that we need to hit before we hit Kefka. 1 down, 2 to go, right? Alright, we're now going to switch over to party number 2, and we're going to go down and around to the right, and we're going to have the second statue fight that we're going to have. And this is, in my opinion, if you fight it straight up, it's probably the toughest one. But since we know a nice little exploit here, which you're probably very familiar with at this point, we can cheese it very simply. Although I'm going to let this play out at full speed. I'm going to show you just how difficult the fight can be unless you make use of the exploit here. So let's get everything back up to where we need to be. I'm going to make use of some tinctures here. We've got 99 of them, so why not? Alright, this is the second statue. We're making sure everything is good to go, and sure enough it is. Go ahead and back out of here. Move forward. Maybe, finally. Yes, we're good. Get out of there. Okay, here we go. This is our second statue boss fight. It is known as the Goddess. Here we go. It is a pincer attack for us, which is nice. Double the damage, right? Not that it really matters because she has such high defense, so kind of pointless, right? Now, we've got all the right stuff equipped. However, it's not going to matter for the most part because the Goddess has very high magic attack and has very annoying status-inducing spells here. So, obviously, you want to hit hard, hit fast. This is where having a higher level will really come into play here. I don't think we necessarily have the right party members to take it down traditionally, but it's not going to matter too much here, and I'll show you why. Now, Love Token is annoying because that character will basically defend the Goddess, so anytime that she takes damage, it's essentially going to damage the character as well. So you'll see how that plays out here. Now, again, we've already talked about the exploit quite a few times here, so I'm not going to bother with that too much longer. Taking it down naturally will become a problem eventually, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So we've looked at a couple things here. You can attack it with magic, you can attack it with physical. Personally, my personal preference throughout the entire game here, if it's possible, is to use physical because it's less animation you have to sit through, and oftentimes it tends to be better. Unless you're using, yeah, see what happened there? Yeah, oftentimes it tends to be better in most places, unless you're fighting areas like the Fanatic's Tower where you're required to use magic. It's just my personal preference, but whatever. So, fire is effective, ice is effective, bolt was effective too, if I remember. Ooh, we actually blocked a bolt spell there. Flash Rain's kind of annoying, it doesn't really do too much, except hit all characters here on one side. Ooh, and the stunner did not work there, which is kind of unfortunate, but whatever. Oftentimes it does work, but clearly it's not going to work on a major statue boss here, so take that for what you will. Alright, we have got all 4 characters back. Now, this is a very annoying attack here, Overcast. So watch what happens here. Anytime this happens, it's going to immediately inflict the zombie status after the countdown goes off. As soon as you see it happen, if you are not anywhere close to taking the boss down, go for the obvious thing. Do the Vanish, do the X-Zone, get the quick, easy, cheap kill. As you can see, 20 seconds to kill the boss is not something you want to deal with, so do it the easy way. Trust me on this. And oh, check this out, Excalibur. That one kind of quick, but the Excalibur is one of the best swords in the entire game behind the Ragnarok and the Ultima. So even if you didn't take the time to get those two swords in Narsh, you still get a pretty nice one in Excalibur, so don't feel too badly about that. Now, man, even so, with the Excalibur sword, you're not going to see me use it too often, except with the perfect party members, and you may see that when we go into Kefka's final fight here. Alright, so that's 2 statues down with 1 more to go. We are rapidly approaching the precipice of no return. 2 down, 1 to go. Let's go ahead and get that last party ready to go. And we're going to have to fight not only the final statue, but also the Guardian that was protecting that final statue here. So, obviously, in that third party, you can see we had the only person with anything was Mog, right? We don't need the Moogle Charm anymore. We're going to take that off. We don't even need the Sprint Shoes right now, so we can take that off too. So we'll get everybody equipped with the right, most powerful stuff, and we will go into the final statue fight here. And you'll see, in my personal opinion, this is probably the toughest of all 3 boss fights, because number 1, you can't cheese it with Vanishing Exo, you got to fight it legitimately. But before we get to that, we got to get through a little Guardian here. Now the Guardian is interesting because you can and you do encounter it in the earlier parts of the game, and it is unbeatable. Not only unbeatable, but undamageable, if that makes any sense. You cannot cause a single speck of damage to this thing until right now. It has a lot of HP, as you saw, and yeah, check it out. We did try, it doesn't work. So unfortunately, you gotta fight it legitimately, and it's not too tough. So just hit it hard, hit it fast. Oh, by the way, this thing is a robot. It is very, very susceptible to magic of the Bolt. Oh, Lord, 10,000 damage with a Bolt 3 spell. So yeah, we have nothing to worry about when we got Realm equipped here. I probably should have remembered to use Quick and then Bolt 3, but oh well, I wasn't really thinking that much. We will certainly utilize that when we get up to Kefka here. We are not that far away from that. I gotta remember to use the Quick spell here. Alright, so with that being said, you're gonna see that this Guardian does hit hard. And fortunately, we have one character equipped with a Thunder Shield, and another character equipped that actually absorbed that stuff. So, yeah, the Guardian looks fearsome, and certainly he... Wow! Still can't get over how powerful Realm is. Little 10, 12-year-old girl is doing nearly... probably well over 10,000 damage if there was no cap on that thing. That's ridiculous. But it's true. She is easily the most powerful magic user in the game, and she's shining right now. So, here's Celeste just for reference. Not bad, 7,500. Realm, that's what, 30,000. She's done half of the damage on this boss on her own. 30,000 damage here. Oh, what's happening here? Yes, that's right. The Guardian can actually attack with previous enemies and bosses that you've seen in the game. This is Ultros that you've seen. You thought we were done with Ultros forever, right? Well, technically yes, but technically no. So are you going to see Ultros again? No, you're not. I'll spoil the surprise. But you did see his little tentacle attack make a little cameo appearance here. So that was actually relatively easy because we cheesed Bolt 3 and had the most awesome magic user here to exploit it. So thank you very much, Realm. We're certainly going to use one of our final save points here before we continue on to fight the final statue here. And wait till you see this last statue here. As I said, in my personal opinion, I think this is the toughest of all 3 statues, and you'll see why. Kind of odd and rare to see us walking around without the sprint shoes on, right? Now, you cannot walk up there. It is a reverse conveyor belt. You might wonder what the heck's going on here? Well, let's see. We're going to walk up and around, and oh, here's that final statue. Let's make sure we have all the right stuff equipped. I can tell you right now we do. Up we go. Here we go. Final statue fight. This is a statue known as Poltergeist. Certainly looks very fierce, and for good reason. 58,000 HP. Take note of the weakness here. It is weak to poison, and I say take note of it because it is something that I actually forgot during this boss fight here. I attempted to attack it traditionally here, which you can, but the problem is if you attack it physically, it's got very high physical defense. And, oh yeah, by the way, Vanish X-Zone doesn't work, so unfortunately, once again, you gotta fight it legitimately. To my knowledge, the only statue that you can take down... Ooh, that sucks, I hate that blaster attack. The only statue that you can take down with the Vanish X-Zone cheese is the Goddess, so keep that in mind. Take that for what you will. That blaster attack is nasty. If you think back to the Colosseum, we did have the blaster attack used against us, and we're very lucky because normally if that hits a character, it's an instant KO. We would have lost the Ragnarok sword before we traded it in for the Illumina. So thankfully we've got 4 party members here, and the blaster is not the end of the world. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, physical attack's probably not the best way to go. Poison is how you're going to get most of your damage here. So poison, or more preferably bio, it's a more effective variant of poison. So take that for what you will. Obviously, I've elected to go the more painstakingly slow trotting path here. But it is what it is. It's not too difficult. You're going to see that what I've elected to do here is use Mog to use his Wind Song for the free instant health rejuvenation with his Sun Dance. The only problem with that is that he will use Wind Slash as part of his Wind Song variant trifecta arrow quiver, so to speak. And unfortunately, the Poltergeist absorbs wind-based attacks. So when that happens, he's going to rejuvenate about, what, 1,500 HP every single time the Wind Slash goes off. But again, not that big of a deal. You're doing plenty of damage as it is. When you fight it for real, don't do what I did. You know, make it easy on yourself. Just inflict bio. And then all the supplemental damage that you do, in addition to the poison and the bio, will take him down naturally and make it go much, much quicker. Oh, by the way, don't use fire. Don't do what I just did. That's an attack that he will absorb. So please don't make the mistake that I'm making right here. I just helped him absorb 85... Wow. 10,000 HP. Yeah, don't make that mistake. Fortunately, I've got a couple characters equipped with fire reducing and absorbing armor here, so, you know, it's not the end of the world. Alright, so now you've seen what to do, and you've seen what not to do. And I'm going to let this play out until Mog gets his Sun Bath, gets his Wind Song in there. And you're going to see the Wind Slash. Just want to show you for a fact that he will absorb wind-based damage here. And once you've seen it, I will go ahead and fast forward this all the way through to the end, because it's a lot of the same stuff that you're going to see over and over and over again. Ice, if you're going to use magic other than poison, I would say ice is probably one of the best ones to go with, because it's not absorbed or reduced. So, that being said, we're almost ready to show you Mog and how the Wind Slash gets absorbed here. Other than that, it's the same old stuff you've seen a million times over. So, please hit someone I don't care about. Actually, why did I say that? Please hit someone I do care about so you can... Anyway, where am I going? Where was I going with that? I don't know. Alright, let's get Edgar back up here so he can benefit from the stuff that he gets when Poltergeist goes down. Just about ready. Come on, Mog, do your thing. So I can go ahead and hit this on 4 times fast speed here. Just about ready. Shrapnel. He can do some pretty nasty stuff here. Ooh, now this is one I didn't account for, actually. Normally, shrapnel hits one person. This time, he threw it on all 4 people here. So here's the Wind Song from Mog. It's going to hit, and as you can see, it's going to heal. It's actually not even that bad, honestly. Only 1,100 HP. I thought it was a lot more than that. Alright, so now you've seen the Poltergeist in action here from start to finish. I'm going to go ahead and let this fast forward all the way through to the conclusion of the battle. And we'll pick up at the very end before we go into Kefka. And that's going to just about do it there. Drop a column of ice down on his head, and there goes the fearsome Poltergeist, the final of the 3 statues guarding Kefka's quarters here. And what do we get? What do we get? 10 magic points. Realm Lord Meteor, the Aura Lance. So the Aura Lance, first of all, is the most powerful lance in the game that I know of. I'm pretty sure it is. So you can give that to Mog, or you can give it to Edgar, whoever is most sufficiently equipped to use it. So that's all 3 statues, right? Defeat the statues, magic power will appear, and okay, so magic has not disappeared yet, right? The statues were known to be the source of all magic. Why are they still around? Why does magic still exist? Take a guess. Who's the one character? Who's the one enemy we haven't defeated yet? Alright, final save point, use it. Now, you probably noticed there's only about a minute left in this video, right? Why? Well, as much as I'd like to finish the game right now, number 1, do not hit that final switch up there until you are absolutely ready to go in there for the final battle. It is long, grueling, and tedious. If you don't know what you're doing, you will lose, and in my case, 20 hours of hard work will be down the drain. So, as much as I don't want to do it, by the way, you go down, it takes you back out to here. So if you want to retreat, that's your chance. As much as I don't want to do this, I want to make sure that I go into this final battle fully prepared. So I'm going to save it right here. But the good news is that you won't have to wait another month to see this final battle. It's coming up, and it's coming fast. We will see you in the final part, part 23. Take care.